So basically, this is another thing that I hadn't touched on. You saw that as soon as I started recording, it worked. But before that, I tried to get the weather, and I had internet and everything, but like for some reason it wouldn't come up. In the past, when I tried to record stuff with my phone, this phone here that I'm touching, would start acting up, and because I didn't pay for data and stuff, it would just act up, or the internet would stop working. And I couldn't record stuff. But what you caught the end of was sometimes I have technology problems where I have technology problems where when I try to do something, it doesn't work, and then I have to be like, I have to go to another person and be like, can you try this? And maybe it happens so often that I have to give my phone to someone else and they play around with it and go, yeah, I got it to work. I don't know, that was strange. It's just like, fuck, this person's talking. This is like disorganized thinking. When you're trying to talk and get a point across, something comes into your consciousness that affects you from telling the story. So I don't know. It's like a version of disorganized thinking, but because I'm off my meds, I'm out of my brain, and I'm kind of just, everything is coming to me and through other people. It's like instead of disorganized thinking, I would label it disorganized communications. And basically my idea is that they're trying to set up scenarios where you lose your train of thought. Like, it doesn't want me to continue to talk about the fact that I caught a glitch in my phone not working, and then when I put a phone on that I know will work, it magically switched to 2 degrees. So that's why I had to invest in a data phone where I actually pay, because somehow the Adjustment Bureau, whatever, they can figure out how to manipulate Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But as far as I know, if you pay for a service like from Bell or something, they can't interrupt that. And if they can't interrupt that, they can't. Eventually, they'll stop trying to fuck with my phone that doesn't have the service. Without trying to ramble or go on a tangent, I will be in the future catching glitches, technology glitches. I often say I have a love-hate relationship with technology, and I just proved one example, but I'm not worried about catching more, because like I said, this phone that I'm holding and talking to is gonna save my ass, in my opinion, with recordings of shit that my other phone is not work. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. I don't have the words to explain, so I'm just gonna stop and not ramble. And if it comes to me later, I'll just continue the thought. But again, technology, having a love-hate relationship with technology is something I often say to people quite often, because a lot of times when I go into a place unexpected, kind of like how I just randomly walked into this library, it's almost like in the movie The Adjustment Bureau, they're like, turn off the Wi-Fi so he can't get access, or whatever. You insert your fucking idea, and basically, turn off the ATM machine so he can't get his cash, shit like that. All right, I'm just gonna. I'll just stay here for a second, explain what happened. I'm about 30 minutes into my walk. This is day 2. I'm gonna call it log 2. Yesterday was log 1. Today is log 2. Each day it's gonna be a log. And I tried to do some live stream, but I wasn't successful. I had about 4 or 5 people join, and as soon as I opened my mouth or tried to show them something, they would just like exit. So I kind of wasn't sure how the best way to get their attention was. I thought if I just showed them something really quick, it might pique their interest, but the video quality is so bad because I'm such a bad filmer so far that as soon as they saw it, they were just like, whatever, this guy's great. They just didn't they didn't give the content a chance. They just looked at the presentation and said, fuck off. So I'm aware that I need to maybe talk, draw them in, and then when they give me a little bit of respect to listen to something that's not visually beautiful, I'm hoping that I'll get some followers and some people that continue to watch. I really believe the content that I'm going to try and get will speak for itself. There's not a lot of people that are documenting what it's like to be schizophrenic without medication. There's a lot of people that talk about it on medication and they can't really explain what it's like in the moment because you have thought blocking and disorganized thinking, and you often, as you see, you end up on a tangent because you need to give the story structure, and you decide to talk for what you hope is 30 seconds about something to bring it back to the main story. But next thing you know, you've been talking for 5 minutes, and when you finally make the point, you go, what was I thinking about? You don't even know. I mean, that happens to me in the past, and I knew it was an issue that I had to work on, so I'm doing my best. And then I also decided to film it because now I can go back and go, oh shit, yeah, that's what I was talking about. So I tried to do something new this morning. I gave it about half an hour and it didn't work. And I had success yesterday, so I'm just going to film. And I'm just going to do what I did yesterday. And then maybe once I get some traction, I'll be able to do some live streaming. But I don't know. So I have a couple things that I already filmed that were great. And now I'm just going to continue to film for as long as I'm out. I thought I'd try and break it up, but now I think like if I see something, there's a good chance that by the time I start recording, I'll miss the thing, and I think maybe it might be easier just to record nonstop. So when I hear something like a horn or a person acting strange, I can just put the phone on them right away. All right, so I'm gonna continue to head up to the shopping complex, and I'm kind of just gonna be unexpected. I'm gonna, like, there's a song where it says "getting lost on purpose." No roadmap, getting lost on purpose, and like I can really relate to that song lyric because that's how I travel sometimes. I'm like, if they're following me and I have no idea what I'm gonna do, then they shouldn't have an idea. So like, if I'm unexpected in the way that I act, then they have to react to that. Like, in the movie Adjustment Bureau, the guy says, we have problems around water. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's true for me, but like another thing they said was that we have problems with people being unexpectedly. I really wish I could speak like a normal fucking person. We have problems dealing with people acting in a way that is unexpected. And so when I heard that in the movie, I was like, yes, that's another thing that makes me feel like this is a documentary, because I noticed that when I act in a way that I don't know how I'm going to act, it becomes odd. So like, now I'm just going to start documenting, and I don't care. I've talked to enough people that I'm confident that I can ask a simple question to break the ice and then kind of judge how they're acting. I'm expecting that sometimes I'm going to get someone that gives me a straight up obvious answer that I'm like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. But then I'm also going to meet people like the guy I met outside the thrift shop that was like talking to himself and mumbling, and when I talked to him, he wouldn't answer me. He couldn't answer me with clear English, but then as soon as he got let in to the store, he spoke clear English to the girl, so I know he can do it, so it's just strange. Alright, so I'm just gonna continue walking now, and I have some notes that I'm gonna read, and then I'm just gonna talk about something that because I'm not having thought broadcasting right now. I'm not connected to a voice in my head. I've only been off my meds for about a month and a half, and like it usually takes about 3 months, 2.5 months before I'm like, holy shit, I'm actually connected to something of higher education than I am. Right now, I'm just seeing strange shit, and I know if I keep following it, the next step is hearing strange shit. So, let me just pick up a random topic that I can talk about. Nothing on that paper that immediately strikes my mind. It's really not a problem, because if I can't find something here, I'll just explain how my journey started. But I like to keep papers like this for like a day or two, and then because a lot of times the scattered thoughts happen over like I'll go on a tangent, not a tangent because tangents you don't come back, but like I'll go on what I think is a tangent, and then an hour later I'll be like, oh fuck, that reminds me I was talking about this, and then so on and so on, and then like it might take 48 hours, 30 minutes at a time over a period to get the whole story out that I'm trying to relay. So I just keep my notes for a couple days, and then when it dies down, I just put those notes together and realize that everything over the last couple days has some meaning to this. Fuck, man. I wish I could fucking get my thoughts across. Okay, so what I'll talk about until maybe something happens is at one point I started doing a lot of research in around 2016 on the internet, which I had never really done up until that point. But then after a few instances that were so fucking unique, I decided to I just had a thought that came into my mind, and it's like, I'm gonna take you to like a secret hideout that I have, and God's new religion and schizophrenia and fucking telepathy. That's what I was trying to get at. See, like, I'm working on trying to get the message out to the new hideout that I found in this building, and I'm also going to continue to talk about the fact that when I started doing research, I realized that there's a lot of religions, and I'm just making these ones up because, not making them up, but like, let's just say Asians and like Indians they talk about their gods, and I just saw a correlation that like they're potentially talking about the same being. They're just using different names and like slightly different like weapons. Like one guy shoots electricity and one guy has like a wand that shoots electric shit. And it's just like, it's impossible that these guys are talking about the same person. So I used that train of thought, and I thought, is it possible that people are getting schizophrenia, telepathy, and maybe like some religious people who say they can talk to like spirits and they're mediums? I'm like, maybe these are all people. Maybe telepathy and mediums are people who are hearing voices or a voice that aren't negative to them. And then maybe someone who does experience a negative voice is told that, oh, you have schizophrenia. I just thought, because religions can mix up characters or gods, maybe humans could mix up schizophrenia, mediums, and like telepathy, and I'm probably missing a few other things like so what got me into really thinking about telepathy was the fact that I started to meditate for hours on end, for months on end, and I started to like play around with my mind. At first I had no idea what I was doing, how to meditate. And then near the end I was seeing movies in my head that just like watching a movie on a TV, I was seeing a movie played inside of my mind. And I wish I could do it again, but it was almost like one day I did something and it started the movie, and then like I didn't know what I did to get that to play again, and then but it was enough for me to realize that no one had ever told me, or no one had ever put on the internet how that shit happens, like what it was. Like I would hear other people say like, oh, I used to hear like sports athletes say like, I visualize myself scoring a goal, and then I see myself scoring a goal, and then I go and do it. And so I kind of thought, okay, maybe these people were seeing movies of themselves in their head, and then that's what they meant when they were, I didn't know, like I really still don't even know. All I know is that for the first time in 30 years of my life, I was like, what the fuck was that? And it was that kind of like eye-opening that it kind of made me start to realize, like, if that's possible, maybe if I was like, I don't think telekinesis is possible. I don't think you could be invisible. I don't think you can fly. But I think like if you just practice telepathy, I think that might be possible. I had a borderline interest in UFO and ufology, but I was never like watching hours of like UFO footage or abduction cases and stuff. But I knew enough to know that all the abductors, they all claimed that they could fucking hear voices in their head. And what made me realize that could be true is that I had met this guy who started to plant thoughts in my head, and he was like a rumored satanic member that I dealt underground poker to. And I just remember thinking, like, at first, what's going on? Like, slightly to backtrack just a little bit before that. when I had that weird experience with the movie in my mind, I started to really research what was possible and what was out there on the internet, because so like people would make interesting claims and I kind of believed everything. At first I was like, I was just like, maybe everything is possible. And then, like I said, I was like, you know what? Let me just focus on telepathy. At least I can get my brain around the fact that telepathy is real. Like, other people claim they've had it, and like they said, the alien planted thoughts in their head and then they could communicate back and forth with it. And that's what I meant when I said in a previous video that when I practiced telepathy at first, it got to the point where I wasn't able to initiate it. I wasn't able to initiate the telepathy, but if some being was able to start the conversation with me, I could answer and keep it going. And then sometimes if I was in that zone, I would leave and I would go somewhere else, and then I would have a conversation, and it kind of snowballed, and then like I would go to sleep, and then I would wake up, and then I would be normal again, and then I'd go back to the poker, and I'd start dealing poker, and like eventually this guy would come back to the poker room, and then he'd start to plant like thoughts in my head again, and then it became really normal, in the sense that I started practicing it more and more once I realized it was possible, and it was like a new toy. It was like, let me, instead of filming fucking sidewalk, let me see if I can film myself. Screen's so fucking... Fuck, I can't see shit on the screen. I know there's a button to make this turn around. Once I get to the hideout, I'll be able to fix it. So, the telepathy. So I was saying, it was kind of just like, once it happened once, and then you go down that rabbit hole and you like it and you keep trying it and investigating it, you keep experiencing it, and like eventually it got the better of me after about 6 or 7 months of being dealing poker, and then going home, and then dealing poker through the night and going back home. Like, I wasn't seeing a lot of people, and where I wasn't talking to people because I was being telepathic. So like I got away with it for like 6 months, just being a Looney Tune essentially. And like honestly, if you're crazy enough to believe something, it'll happen. Like it takes little steps, like how I was saying about like I haven't heard any voices yet. It usually takes me about 3 months after being on medicine, being off medicine, that I get voices. But like I've noticed a few days ago that I started being more aware to like unique surroundings, to my unique surroundings. And so it'll be interesting when I do get them, because not them, I only get one, but when I do get it, it's like usually I learn to talk like this. I learned to talk really quiet in my room because I got tired of people going, "Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?" So I would just I would have the telepathic conversation, and like I couldn't not speak it with my mouth, but over a few days I got to the point where I could talk this quiet, like even quiet. I could talk without making a sound, and I could laugh without. I could laugh. If you saw me, it would look like I'm laughing, but then if you got close to me, there'd be no sound coming out of me. And it was like the only way I could function in my room without and like luckily most of the time when I went to work, I was able to turn it off, and I would just focus so fucking hard on dealing, and then my mind would wander with these thoughts that started popping into my mind, and then like I would go home and be fucking crazy, and then it was just a cycle. And like I said, because I was working at 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. I just never saw the same people. So even if I did act weird for a minute and knew it, I'd be like, oh fuck man, it's like 4 a.m, it's late, I'm just fucking, we're all tired, and like I wouldn't see those people again. So like it was just really a safe environment to be crazy, get away with it, and I didn't have any bosses. There was no one around, and even if people think you're crazy, a lot of people won't say anything. So it basically took me 6 months of just dealing poker to the devil before I decided that, the devil was making deals, selling souls, and I could do the same. And like, I do have an experience where I can talk about what it's like, but I did make a video already, so I'm gonna try to not do that again. So someone's just walking out as I'm walking in, so I'm gonna pretend like I'm on the phone, because I just want to talk as I'm in there. How's it going? Are you deaf?
Are you talking to me?
I was just like, how are you going?
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
I have your phone there, so I'm like...
Oh, yeah, no problem. I was just like, it was just weird because I don't know. I'm just having an interesting day, so I thought, anyways, I'm very sorry to ruin your morning.
No, you didn't at all. I just thought you were talking to your phone.
Yeah, totally a miscommunication.
Okay.
I am talking to my phone in the sense I'm making a log for myself. But then I was also like, hey, how's it going? Because I didn't expect you. And then it was just one of those weird kind of...
It's all good.
Anyways, I'm not crazy. I just sound crazy.
Have a good morning.
Yeah, you too. Sorry for the confusion. Again, like I said, I'm at the point where I'm just gonna fucking... I'm just out there to record shit, and like, she made a very good point. Like I was looking like I'm on my phone, but I thought like I made it clear when I looked at her and said, hey, how's it going today? That, you know what I mean? She just ignored me, looked at me and ignored me. And I was like, oh, like, did I do something to whatever I said? I know it was kind of rude, but then she was just like, oh, no, I thought this. Hey, sorry. Just so fucking strange that another person comes out as I'm talking, and this place is always fucking dead. It's like my hideout where no one's in here. It's so fucking annoying when you try to explain stuff. It's like like I tried to say at the library, disorganized thinking happens, but this is more like disorganized actions. When I'm trying to think out loud, it's like they put people in my direction for me to interact with, I think, but like meanwhile I should just mind my own business. It's kind of hard to fucking figure this whole situation out sometimes, but like I'm just at the point where I'm just gonna ask people straight up, like, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna get obvious, clear answers like that, and I'm gonna just play it off like I'm not like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not too crazy, but then also I know like there's gonna be instances like the two people in the truck that were just driving away as soon as I went to walk to them. Like, it's really hard to fucking notice who you should talk to and who is out to monitor you and who's just doing their own thing. It's like I'm kind of just, this is like my second day trying to like piece it all together. So like, I'm not embarrassed, but there's not really much I could have done, in the sense that if I'm in this mode investigating, I have to like ask people, and maybe I'll catch a really interesting my idea is that I might meet 10 people and they all are normal, but the 11th person will be the person that gives me the eureka moment. And I just know in the past that when you get the eureka moment, it's really fucking crazy. But like I said, it's just like a fucking game. Like, I really look at it like I'm a role player in a game. So the thing about this place, I just walked in here one day and there was like no one here. I was just like, what's going on here? The lights are on. There's no fucking... The practitioner will be with you, but like there's no... I don't know. Like maybe you have an appointment and they come out and know. There's someone else in here. And then like over here, you know, I sat here and I rolled a joint and I was just like in my own little world. And there's a Wi-Fi in the building. So like I could come here and get Wi-Fi and just roll a joint, take a break, warm up, and continue on my way. I don't know, I guess I can't film myself on this phone. I guess I was hoping to put the video on me and then turn it around if I need to show something, but I guess I can't do that. Anyway, so this is a little place that I call the Hangout, the Hideaway. In the past, it was really dead for like a good hour by myself. I stayed in here, kind of just chilling. And like 2 people just walked out and I was a 3rd person sitting over there. So like, I don't know. It's just interesting. Like I say, I'm going to show you this quiet place where no one is. And then, you know, 2 people walk out. And that's why I opted to say hi to them. Because I thought it was connected somehow to me saying no one's here. So when people show up and leave, I'm like, let me interact with you and see if I can learn something from you. And like maybe I shouldn't have done that. But again, this is just a learning process that I'm recording. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue to the Walmart area, and I'm gonna try and capture some people doing weird, like acting weird, like acting weird in the sense like they walk in, stop, look to their left, look to their right, and then sometimes we'll like walk back out and never come back in. Sometimes they'll continue on. It's just weird that I see these. Like today, I've noticed 2 cars of people just sitting around. And yesterday I didn't see any of that, but I saw other things. So I don't know. So like today, maybe if I get to the shopping area, there'll be more people just chilling in cars, and like I don't care. Like if the mood strikes me, I might have an interaction with them, and sometimes if you walk into a reality, someone will come up to you and have a friendly conversation with you. And in the past, I realized it might be their way of like saying, Joe, go talk to that guy and find out what he's doing here, find out what he's about. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like sometimes, like when I met the guy last night at the bar, he just walked in and was like, let's put on the Leafs game. It's like right now I'm looking for trouble, and like maybe I'll find it, but I'm gonna go looking for trouble, and hopefully do I find it. but like sometimes it just fucking finds you. And I'm hoping also that maybe at Walmart I'll be able to catch some things that are really out there. I know for sure if I continue to do this within the next month and a half, I'll definitely have my voice. But like right now, I'm not telepathic, and I'm gonna try and choose my words correctly. Like what I noticed in the past was when I was what I call time traveling. I would say like up until my 20s, I always used to say, "You win some, you lose some. If at first you don't succeed, try again." Seeing is believing. These are the three that are really common to me that I used to say. But then at some point, I realized that if I said, you win some, you get some. If at first you don't try, if at first you don't succeed, try again and move on. Or seeing is believing, but experiencing is confirming. I added these to my vocabulary like overnight, and when I went to the bar the next couple days, I had people give me opportunities to speak them into action, and it was transferring my thought process. I would really focus on changing my language and how I chose to speak. And then when I would go to the bar and like I'd have like so many, like maybe 10 or 20 things that I'm waiting to fucking talk about. I don't know what's coming, but I know it's gonna be like one of these 20 things. And it was like, sure enough, at the end of the bar, I heard some guy saying to the bartender, "You win some, you lose some." And then I was just like, it's really, as a shy person, it's hard to do at first, but then you get to the point where you become so fucking, you feel like you're in a computer simulation and they're just NPCs anyway, so you lose the caring factor about how you feel, how you sound. So I was just like, when the guy said that to the bartender, I was like, "Where I'm from, you say you win some, you get some." And I was like, the bartender was like, "Yeah, I like that." You know what I mean? It was just like, once I had the opportunity to change the way I spoke, I was given the opportunity to say like, "Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that? We're gonna have this guy say this, and you better say what you really say, or you're gonna stay in your own timeline where you say you win some, you lose some. Like, are you a man of action?" And so like that's part of being like a schizophrenic person. I think it's like, if the thoughts in your head tell you to do something, if you do it, they treat you better, in my opinion. And if you decide to say, "No, you're not real, you're just my imagination, I'm not doing that, I don't want to do this," you know what I mean? Like if you talk back to these voices, then in my experience, you start to get negative thoughts of like harming yourself and shit like that. Not all the time, but I did notice like if I could like talk to them a little bit, like maybe tell the voice, if it came at me with a funny thing, I would come back with it a funny thing. And I would hope to make the voice happy, because I didn't understand what was going on, but I knew that I don't say stuff like, "There's wolves in the woods, snakes in the weeds, and fools in the garden." I'm not smart enough to say that. So when it pops into my head, I know it's coming from a different source. And so like, I would just like take that kind of information that I would hear, and sometimes it was just me writing something down, but like I found out that like a lot of this shit is fucking useless, really. Like I can't fucking do anything with the fact that wolves are in the woods snakes are in the weeds and fools are in the garden, but I can like repeat it and go, that's so fucking cool. Like, I kind of make sense in this sense, but I don't know where that came from. I know I'm not smart enough to come up with it. So like, what else do you got? You got any jokes? And then like they would say, and then you just start having a conversation and you talk about shit, and like my voices never were like, maybe you should pick up a knife or anything like that. They were like, and if they did say maybe you should pick up a knife, I'll be like, that's a great fucking idea. I need to make a sandwich. I just like, whatever they fucking said, I just kind of fucking, I try to put a spin with a happy, positive, or funny kind of like back and forth with them, and it really worked out for a long time. In the sense that I was able to function, but I wasn't able to like really. I thought like if I did it long enough, something interesting would happen. Like, I thought if I kept repeating that I'm a time traveler, like, I had seen enough shit to know that like if I do it right, maybe I will actually meet a time traveler who might be able to take me on a trip. And I didn't focus on the fact that I didn't focus on like how it had to plan out so much. I just focused on the fact that if I believe that I'll meet one, I will meet one. And it, you know what I mean? I wasn't like trying to plan the trip. Like, I want him to take me back to the dinosaur just so I can feed like omnivores or whatever. I just left that to the fucking universe and repeated, I want to be a time traveler. I want to be a time traveler. And then that led to telepathy, and then that kind of shit led to fucking hospital stays, and then I just fucking I mean, at the same time, when I kind of just I knew that like my mind could create I knew my subconscious creates my reality and my conscious mind navigates it. I had already known that before I had any weird like shit, that mental stuff, which made it easy for me to go down the rabbit hole of like, this kind of shit is strange, but I know it's possible because naturally I thought of strange stuff that happened to me, like one thing, I created a stripper girlfriend that had a great body and an ugly face, and I made a point of that, and then it happened, and then it even as it was happening, I didn't realize it until like 6 months later that I had created this scenario, and it worked. It was really, I was just like, how can I be so forgetful and not aware at the time? It was kind of mind-blowing, but that was kind of like one of the final steps where I knew I could just think about a plan in my head, and it was like the easier the plan, the easier it was to achieve. So like after I was dealing poker, I was also playing online poker, and I was like, I don't want to fucking work. I want to just play poker. And so I was like, I created this spot in my mind that I called Hemp Vegas. So like Vegas is for Las Vegas, and hemp is like for cannabis and stuff. And so I wanted to be able to smoke weed, rent a room for like $500 or $600, get enough money for food, and play poker. And like, if I'm making like $30 a day, maybe $30 is a little less. I was hoping to make like about $1,500, $1,700 a month. That's all I needed to live like what I wanted to live, a life of just being lazy, waking up when I want to, turning on my computer, playing poker for, a few hours, and then turning it off, and just like at the end of the month, taking my $1,500, paying $500 for a room, $200 or $300 for food, and like maybe $100 for weed. So like, I don't know, like maybe $900 to $1,000 would be my expenditure, and then I would bank $500 a month. I just said if I could pull that off, I'll be fucking happy, and that's all I fucking want, and I'll be fucking happy, and I'll never complain, and just fucking give me that. And like 8 months later, that happened, and then like when it happened, I was like, oh, I did it again. I created what I wanted, but then it was like because that worked, then I was like, well, fuck, maybe I could get a studio apartment instead of a room for $500. Like, it was just like, once I achieved my kind of goal, I lost interest in it. And it was also like, I lost interest in the fact that I was like, I know that if I try something new and it doesn't work, I can fall back on this, because I've done it enough to confirm that, like when I started playing poker online, there was a day when it wasn't a matter if I was going to win, it was a matter of how much I was going to win. So like when that happened, I felt like, okay, I'm officially a professional poker player. I'm playing in some of the smallest games online, but I'm making enough that I don't need a job. So like I was really happy about that. But then I also had I was also dealing with like not being on medication and like not talking about my experiences, and like just being in a room by yourself for like maybe 4 or 5 days straight, only to leave your room to use the washroom or make something in the kitchen. It's just like fucking a prison sentence. It was like I missed interacting with people. I missed dealing poker where I would sit at the table for 8 hours or more and listen to the conversations. And I just really enjoyed that. I missed that. And like, so then I decided to go off my meds, which is a pretty common thing that I do. And my longest streak of being off meds with no incidences was about 2.5 years. And like, I really feel like if I had thought about the hard situation that I had to deal with, if I really just used common sense, I would have avoided the whole hospital situation. And I just realized, like, fuck, man, I was on the timeline I wanted to be on, and I was getting closer to these strange goals that I had. And I was just like, long story short, I was wearing 2 pairs of jogging pants. The pair that you could see were black, the ones underneath were gray. I had 2 shirts on and a hoodie. I won't get into why, but when I broke out of the hospital after being taken there by the cops, so like the cops take me to the hospital, and like they put me in this room, and because this hospital is in a small community, it doesn't have a psych ward, So they gotta wait like a day or two to get someone to come drive me to the like the bigger hospital in the bigger city, about 40 minutes away. But I was like, I kind of was like, fuck, I'm gonna run out. And the voice in my head was like, you gotta run away. And it basically set up the scenario for me to get out and run away from the fucking the doctors. I did it like maybe 30 minutes after the cops took me there. So basically I had to make it a 30-minute walk from the hospital to where I was staying. And long story short, I got to about 25 minutes, 5 minutes from my place. And like just as I'm about to walk around the corner, this cop drives around the corner and he as he sees me and he kind of stops and he's like, hey, are you fucking whatever, this guy or whatever that we're looking? And I was just like, yeah, man, you got me. Like, at this point I was just like, how the fuck do you always find me? I was like, how do you guys always know where I am? And he was just like, hey man, like I was just fucking driving and I was just like he basically was nice and he was saying, look, it's just in your head, man. It's just random. I don't know where you were. Like, that's what he said to me. Like, in the moment, I kind of was like, okay, like maybe I believe you. But then also in the moment, I was just like, there's no fucking way that I can always get so close and then I'm always fucking trapped at the end. But then when I was in the hospital, I realized to myself, I was like, fuck, I fucked that whole shit up. I could have made it home. I literally, if I had thought about it, or if the voice had given me a little bit of extra information, I was like, I could have busted that delusion. I could have ran away from the hospital. I didn't have my wallet on me, so they had no idea of who I was, and I didn't tell them anything. I basically said I was homeless, and then I was gonna walk to Ottawa, like a 8-hour walk away, and they're like, you can't walk that far. Plus I was saying other weird shit, and so they just took me to the hospital with like, I don't think they had any information about where I lived or anything like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, when I was in the hospital, I was like, fuck, if I had just taken off my black pants, I had gray pants underneath. If I had taken off my hoodie, I would have had a yellow shirt underneath. So like, the chances that if I had walked around that corner and that cop drove by and saw a guy with gray pants and a yellow shirt, I think there's a good chance he would have just been like, that's not the guy we're looking for. We're looking for black pants and a brown hoodie. But like, I didn't fucking change the clothes that I was there in when they took me to the hospital, so they knew what I was wearing. And like I said, when the guy saw me, he knew I fit the description. And I was just like, fuck, man, I could have made it back to my house and fucking hunkered down for a week. And like, I would have stayed in that timeline, and I would have fucking managed to fucking run away successfully from the hospital and the cops. And now I snap back to reality where I'm back in a mental hospital. So like, those two timelines were so close. One where I don't get into a hospital stay, and one that I do. And I wanted to stay in the timeline where I didn't go to a hospital, but that's not what happened. So like, I decided to say like, I'm just gonna keep taking my meds now from now on, because like I can't handle this shit. The cop fucked my shoulder up pretty good when he was twisting my arm to cuff me and shit, and so like my arm was really fucked up for like, it took a year to heal, almost a year to heal. And I was just like, I just made a couple promises to myself, like I'm just gonna take medication till my arm heals, because if I go out and do something again in 3 or 4 months and my arm's fucked, I couldn't even lift my arm more than like I could barely lift it above my waist. It was just, I didn't tell a single person, even when I was in the hospital, I just kept it to myself. I was just like, I'm just gonna fucking heal this on my own. Like like I'm being punished, so I'm just gonna accept my punishment. And I was like, I know it's gonna heal, in my opinion, but I didn't know how long. And then, 4 or 5 months go by, and I have like almost no fucking success. Like I have to use my left hand. I start wiping my ass with my left hand. I started fucking doing all this, like getting dishes out of my right hand is my dominant hand, and then all of a sudden I couldn't use it, so I just became left-handed overnight. And like, I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing my medication until I can use my arm again. And basically, around December of it happened in March of 24, and then I would say in December of 24 was when I finally said, oh, I think my arm is actually starting to get to the point where I could raise it above my head. Like I still couldn't put my arm straight up above my head, but I was getting pretty close. And I said, I guess that, and the fact that I had a year to really think about how hard this game is. Schizophrenia, how I describe it, a game. That I decided, like, I have no fucking, I can just accept defeat and take my medication. And like, I don't have to worry about interacting with cops or going to jail. Like, that was another thing. I was like, you know what? That cop could have charged me with something and put me in jail. But I felt like the fact that I was in a small rural community, and the fact that they had already taken me to the hospital, that when I, like, because I kind of got in a fight with the cop, I threw a punch at him, and he caught it and then fucking twisted the fuck out of my arm. I was just like, if I was in Toronto, Montreal, Las Vegas, and I threw a punch at the cop, and he twisted my fucking arm and whatever, like, it's a good chance that he might have charged me with something, or I might have gone to like a jail for a bit, or fuck, I don't even know. Like, I'm really fucking lucky. And I kind of just got scared straight. And I was just like, you know what? That's it. The fact that this game is so fucking hard, the fact that if I fuck up next time and I go to jail, I'm really fucked, because I'll never make it in jail. I know myself well enough to know that I'm not built to handle like jail. Those people are a whole different beast than the type of people I'm used to being around. And like, I was just like, you know what, I can't do that. But now I'm just like, you know what, if a cop comes up to me and starts to question me, I'm just gonna be honest with them and say, listen, I'm diagnosed schizophrenia, I'm taking my medication, but I don't think it's working. I'm assuming you're talking to me for some reason that I'm acting strange, or someone said I'm acting strange. So like, maybe you should just take me to the mental hospital and I'll talk to my doctor. That's not the way I ever would handle cops in the past. I would always try and talk my way out of it. And like, sometimes it worked. And sometimes I was just too crazy to talk my way out of it. But I made a rule to myself that if I do experience some shit where I can't control, then cops are called, I'm just gonna be like, I'm fucking crazy, my medication's not working, please take me to the hospital, and hope they can help me out, and then I'll take my medication for a month or something, and then I'll go back off it or whatever. But like I said, my streak was 2.5 years, and like, I was really proud of being off medication for 2.5 years with schizophrenia. I felt like I was really navigating the situations well. Like, all these things that I've recorded yesterday and today, I would just ignore them, even though I knew like they were strange and whatnot. I didn't go down that rabbit hole. And I just, and then like, what I'm hoping to catch is like, at some moment, especially when the voice is connected to me, it just gets, it just gets batshit crazy. And I'm hoping that if I film it, talk myself through it, go home, load it, watch it, I would repeat this to myself: smart enough to investigate, smart enough to control. Smart enough to investigate, smart enough to control. And I would just repeat that. And the meaning behind it is, like, I was like, if I'm smart enough to investigate the schizophrenia experiences I'm having, maybe I'll be smart enough to control them in some way that I'm not sure yet, but like maybe in some way I'll be able to control them. And I do know that like sometimes I'll break a delusion now before it starts. Like yesterday I filmed something that was strange, but as I got closer, it was explained to me in a nice way, and then it made sense. And I just know that in past I wouldn't say anything, I would just accept it as crazy. And like, I know that's a problem, but I also know that like 10 things may be easily explained and miscommunicated, but there's always going to be that one thing that's just fucking way out to left field. And it's just like, I know when I get that on film, I'll be very happy, because like, I don't know, it's hard to catch these things, whether it's my lack of intelligence, my lack of skill using technology, or the fact that, like at the library, where I caught my phone not working, and then when I put my other phone that does work well on top of it, it like immediately clicked in and said 2 degrees in Kempville, but like I had Wi-Fi and I couldn't get the weather app to load, and I just said, you know what, let me film this. This is just another experience of like the movie The Adjustment Bureau, where like the guy goes into the fucking booth at the train station to use a phone, and the guy's like, don't worry, I already knocked that line out. It's just like, it makes me think that that's happening to me. And I also thought that maybe I was I decided to get a phone and pay for data and shit like that, because like I was using a VoIP number, a Wi-Fi number, but it was just like harder and harder to fucking, like, everything needs a code. Like, you got to type in your code. You get locked out of your account, and then you have to send a code to your phone. And the free VoIP number, they don't give you, like, if you send your number to the TD Bank, and the TD Bank sends you 6 numbers that you're supposed to enter, the VoIP number doesn't get those. And I was just like, well, fuck, man. Like, I had to like get my dad to send it to my dad, and then my dad would tell me what the 6 digits were, and then I typed it in. And it was just shit like that. Like, technology just got to the point where it started fucking me over, and I just got to the point where I was like, maybe it's trying to tell me that I need to fucking get an actual phone if I'm gonna fucking start recording this shit. And even right off the bat, I've already had issues. Just unexplained technology issues that like when only my eyes are looking at it, it won't operate. And then I'll like sometimes have to go to a person. Like, sometimes I'm a customer and I'll go to the cashier, I'm like, my phone's not fucking working right now, it should be like, and their person's like, that's weird. And then I'm like, I'll go, like, sometimes if you just fucking touch my phone and try it, it'll work for you, and I don't understand it. And like, sure enough, people will like, they'll try and be like, oh, I don't know, that's weird, it should fucking work. and they'll fool around, and then like a few seconds later they're like, oh yeah, now it's working, and then I'll get it back, and then I won't, and then I'll continue to get it to work. But like, I know if I didn't get that person to touch my phone and try it, I know that it just wouldn't work for me. It's really fucking strange. And like, and I know I'm gonna catch it. It's usually with like ATM cards. Like I'll use the ATM machine. I'll walk into a place that's not expecting me, and then I'll go to tap something, and like the ATM machine won't accept. It won't work. And it's like the guy has to play around with it and then get it to work. Or like sometimes they have to bring out a whole new machine and then they get that to work. Or like when I was getting this phone, the guy got so far. The guy tried to, there was 2 computers back to back, and he was on one. And he spent like three or 4 minutes trying to get it to work, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then he's like, just let me, and then he goes around to the other computer, he goes, let me try here. And like, sure enough, the other computer worked. And it's just like, it's really strange, because it's like I say with these people, I'm trying not to repeat myself, but it just comes up over and over again. It's like these schizophrenic people say like I don't know, I don't want to repeat myself, but it's just interesting with the technology issues that it's like if these guys are spying on us and trying to fuck with our shit, there's always what seems like a simple way to execute what you need done. It's kind of annoying, and sometimes it takes like 2 or 3 minutes to figure out, but like you get to where you need to go. And like, I just don't know if they're just like amateurs at fucking trying to fuck with me and us, because like everyone with schizophrenia knows they're being followed. So like, if they were spies, they'd be shitty spies. Or like, do they just not care that they're obvious in following us? That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if they're just fucking really shitty at their job, hiding in plain sight, or if they're actually trying to get us to go crazy and be like so obvious in how they fucking like make us feel like we're on the Truman Show, that it just becomes a game to like, let's break this guy's mind. We'll do something really obvious here, then we'll make it obvious here, and then he'll say something to his dad, and then his dad will take him to the hospital. I don't know. It just seems like maybe that's their motivation, like, because like honestly, they're not being fucking, they're being pretty obvious sometimes to the fact that we can just say that we all say the same thing. So I don't know. I'm trying to fucking figure that out. I don't understand it, but I do think like there's a possibility that they might just be really shitty at what they are trying to do. And I don't know. I'm just gonna, I had no intentions of walking into Canadian Tire, but like I say, sometimes if you look at the movie The Truman Show, Truman has a routine that's pretty like common, and they all like, they know like what he's every day, who he talks to, the way he drives to work and shit like that. And like, I feel like that's possible with people like me. But then like, if Truman just decided to drive 10 minutes out of the direction he normally drives, pull into a mall and go into a random store, in that Truman Show universe, that city, there's people in all those malls, even though they're just acting, and they're probably told like, don't worry, Truman's not gonna fucking come in here. We know his route. We know his. See how that's moving? Oh, there's someone on the other side. I was just like, what's going on? Shit's moving on the shelf, but there's probably you guys stalking. Yeah. So, anyways, the point I'm trying to say is, if Truman decided to be unexpected and just go into a random store that he never goes into, there'd probably be someone in that city working there. And then if he tried to buy something, like that person might have an issue with the technology or the computer or whatever. And like I can relate to being like, are you fucking new? Like, why do I always run into fucking new people? Like, and then like the common thing that is like when there's something weird going on and you ask someone, they'll be a lot of times they're like, I'm brand new. It's my first day. I don't know how this works. I just started. There's always an excuse where they basically, these extras don't know how to act. And that's what I'm trying to catch, like extras that aren't good actors, because like a lot of the places that they know where I'm gonna go, they put their actors in there that know the situation. So I don't know, I'm trying not to fucking lose you guys, but it's just like an interesting thing. Like when something goes wrong, there's usually a brand new person that doesn't know what's going on.
Well, but these are
I guess I'm kind of fucking done on that topic, so I'm just gonna go to fucking Walmart and I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna sit the front and like just kind of people watch, and I did this a few days ago and it was really strange, and then I did it like the next day and it was pretty normal. So like it's entirely possible that I've already caught a few things, and like honestly like 4 to 5 strange things a day is interesting, but like when you become aware of it, more shit starts to happen. So like I'm really hoping I can keep this daily log going for a couple weeks. How's it going?
have a very great day.
Thank you, I'm trying.
Good luck.
Yeah. How'd your day going?
It's going.
Yeah.
It's going. Looking forward to going home.
Oh yeah? It's still early, you must have a few hours
No,
to go.
I'm just like 3 hours more and I'm done.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Do you live in the Kempel area?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah?
I love this town.
Yeah, I lived here my whole life.
Have you?
Yeah.
You grew up here. Wow.
Yeah, I went to like public school at the old KPS. It's not there anymore.
In North Grenville?
I went to the old North Grenville too. Yeah.
Yes.
I guess like in the library they have a store there. They have like a little like craft store in the old library.
Yes, of course, yes.
Yeah, no, I don't know what they're doing with the rest of the building. I heard that maybe they were trying to turn it into apartments.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good. The stores are nice.
Yeah, I need a studio apartment, so like maybe fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the affirmation I'm trying to work on these days. I don't know.
Nag the town council.
Nag the town council?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We need more apartments.
For sure, we do need more apartments. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, man.
Too low.
Sorry, I was just got busy talking and lost track of time. So like that's the thing I noticed is like it's becoming more as I get going, it's like riding a bike. It's becoming more and more clear like when someone is gives you an indication that maybe they're open to a conversation. Like I'm not gonna just randomly talk to that lady. But like the old me might have. But like that lady at the cashier, there's no one behind me, and she was like smiling and like nodding at me. And then so I just was like, let me start a conversation with her. And then like I didn't really gain any information that I didn't know, but we had an interesting back and forth. I was hoping there might be something there, and then she said something about, she mentioned the high school that I attended, and I mentioned that, oh yeah, I heard that there might be apartments, and how I change timelines is like, if I'm thinking to myself like I am these days, like I need a studio apartment, I eat healthy. I have a studio apartment, I eat healthy. When apartments come up in a conversation, I'm like, oh, I'm actually looking for a studio apartment. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It's kind of like, and then she hits back with, go to a town council meeting. And I'm just like, okay, maybe I'll do that. Not likely, but like, thank you. So like, I put it out there in the universe, not just in my mind now, but I told someone that I need an apartment. And like, if I tell enough people and I keep saying enough, I'm confident that I will get a studio apartment. And I'm also confident that when I get a studio apartment, after 6 months to a year, I might not be happy and go, you know what? I want a townhouse, or I want to upgrade. That's just the way I go. It's like once I find like a dream job or a dream experience, after 6 to 7 months, on average, it kicks off. But either I get booted out of the reality, or I get bored and want to create something new because I didn't do a perfect job. So I'm just gonna fucking go into Timmy's, charge my phone a bit, sit down, and then we'll go into Walmart. And like I said, it's becoming easier for me to pick out who I should talk to and who I shouldn't. Like if you've watched the whole video up to this point, the confusion at my hideout area was because I was forcing it. Like like I said, I was gone out looking for trouble, but when that lady smiled at me, I knew that I could fucking talk to her. And then she was nice and said, oh, I have to take a customer. But she was happy to talk to me for a few minutes till someone came. And then I went on my way. And it's kind of like I said, it's really like a video game in real life for me. Just looking for an outlet to plug my phone in. I'm assuming Timmy's will have one. Yeah, I think you might have got the only plug out in the whole fucking Timmy's.
I think there is one on the other side somewhere, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Thanks, bud. This falls under the category, if at first you don't succeed, try again and move on. So I'm looking over here, there's nothing over there. Now I know there's one plug out that I'll totally forget about, but there is one plug out in this Timmy's. So, like I said, I know there's a McDonald's at the Walmart, so maybe there's a plug-in at the McDonald's and I can sit down there. When I say these things over and over again, like these life lessons that I learned, like seeing is believing, but experiencing is confirming. I felt like I was only getting half felt like I was only getting half the information and I had to learn the rest. Like, I grew up in an interesting time where I was about 19 or 20 before we got the internet, and like we didn't even get the real internet until like 25 years, until I was like 25. Like, the internet, the first couple of years of the internet, it's not like how it was now, how it is now, or like what's on it. So like in 1992, I was old enough to understand what people were saying, and I was also aware enough that I was a unique person. But like, there was nothing in the Encyclopedia Britannica that talked about schizophrenia that I knew about, or shit like that. So like, I was just like, well, I'm a strange person, I know that, but I don't understand what's going on. So I was always focusing on like people around me and the interactions, and so I would hear these people, and they would talk. The people around me would talk in code. They would say shit like, "The lights are on, but nobody's home." Two in the fist is like three in the bunch, or something. I totally fucked that one up. But like, there was these sayings, and they would say like memory path, going down memory path, or going down memory lane. I changed it to memory path for myself. Just like you win some, you get some. I changed that to memory path. I thought like, what the hell? I'll just change it. I'll make it my own. But like, going down memory lane. If at first you don't succeed, try again. There's other ones I can't think of, but those are the most common ones. And I just realized, like, what are these people talking about? Like, or like, apples and oranges. What's the difference between apples and oranges? Or like, whatever. The point I'm trying to make is like, someone had an experience and came up with apples and oranges, and then a lot of people could relate to that and kept saying it, and then it just grew by word of mouth, like in the 90s and shit, before the internet or books or whatever. Like, there's books, but like, the point I'm trying to make is like, for me, I wasn't reading books, so I was just listening to people, and I just kind of got sick and tired of feeling like no one's fucking telling me what's going on, but they're fucking speaking in code. And then later in life, like around 2019 and shit, I started to really investigate what SANGs are, sayings. I was like, I just realized like I could come up with my own explanation of what apples and oranges are. So like, if I had a kid and he's like, what does apples and oranges mean? I could tell him about a 7 to 15 minute long episode where I was like, the difference between apples and oranges is because a bear can climb a tree and will eat apples, but a bear will not climb a tree to eat oranges. So like, also, when you see bears who can climb trees, it sounds crazy, but what I came to realize is that they learned to climb trees because one of their favorite foods are apples. They have to climb the tree to get the apple, etc. I just kind of was like I said, it's a 15 minutes episode that I had if I was to explain it, but it's not really relevant right now. But I can just relive that whole episode, and all I have to remember is apples and oranges. I can't unremember what apples and oranges means to me, because like, one of my biggest fears was being attacked by a bear, and then I just realized, like, if I walk through bear country with a backpack full of apples, at least I'll have a fighting chance. And then I beat the anxiety, and I And then I was able to walk through bear country without being worried, because I knew there was a low probability of me actually being attacked by a bear, but at least I had, like, the pen is mightier than the sword. So, like, I used the pen in my mind to create a scenario where I could get out of being attacked by a bear, if that makes sense. Like, the pen's mightier than the sword. So I kind of just created this situation in my head and realized, like I said, I knew that these problems were partly my own mind, and I kind of just was getting annoyed with my mind playing tricks on me. So I just kind of started to, like, fight back, and I'm still doing it, but I went through some rough patches for maybe about a year, and I just really focused my mind on fixing the problem, and like I said, it took me about a year to like, now I don't suffer from anxiety, and if I do, I just use the tools that I know that worked in defeating the other anxiety problems I had, and I just apply them to the new situation if it comes up. And, like, basically I just now I just say, I don't have boring conversations to the voice. Like, when the voice starts talking like that, I'll just shut it down and be like, dude, I don't fucking have boring conversations. It's boring for me to talk about my demise, so, like, fuck off. I'm not gonna get in an argument with myself. I'm not gonna have an argument with my subconscious mind, and I'm not gonna have a boring conversation. And, like, if you repeat that shit over enough, and you apply it over enough periods of a time, in my experience, it helped me. It got me to, like, defeat anxiety, which was, like, really fucking fucked up. If anyone has anxiety, I feel bad for them, especially if they don't know how to cure it. Alright, so I'm just gonna sit here for maybe like 10 or 15 minutes, watch some people, and if nothing happens, I'm gonna stop this video, charge my phone, and walk around, see if I can catch something, and if not, I'll just head on home. And I'm already happy with the 2 or 3 synchronicities I caught in the first couple of videos. I didn't catch anything in this hour and 20 minutes that I would really consider strange, but I did share, like, a lot of my thought process, which I hope is kind of interesting too. So yeah. Like I said, I came here the other day, and it was really, I sat here for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I just saw weird shit, like weird people acting. They would come in and stand right there, and there's nothing in the middle of the room, but they would bend over and look. It would look like they were looking under a table, but, like, there's nothing there. And I was just like, what's this guy looking under? It was just really interesting. And then it's coming back to me. I had 3 miscellaneous people acting strange. I had 2 people acting lost. There was I don't really remember everything. I mean, the point is, it's like, I saw 7 or 8 interactions where I would say, okay, well, this is kind of interesting. Someone set off the alarm for shoplifting. So he's checking this old lady's card. I'm sure he'll let her go. But it would have been interesting if he like found something and like, hey, you got to come back in here, and I caught it on tape. But I didn't. Anyways, how's it going? So like I said, I'm gonna stay here for another 10 or so minutes, and then like I said, I'll just, if nothing happens in the next 10 minutes, I'll just assume like I caught what I caught for the day. Okay, so this guy is turning around and walking back out. So like, probably just going to get a cart, but I think his wife had a cart. He walked in with his wife and she had a cart, and now he's just like looking around. And what do you? Oh yeah, you need it? I was gonna go talk to him and be like, "What do you need? Let me help you." But it's just strange, like the guy walked in with his old lady, totally normal. Got to about where this guy in the red is now, stopped, turned around, walked out here, looked around, came back, looked in, didn't see what he was looking. Then he looked at this fucking bin, and then I was like, "Oh, do you want this?" To give it to him, and he was like, "Oh, no, that's not what I'm looking for." And then like he pointed at me and he was like, "Do you need is this yours?" He basically was implying like, "Is this your fucking little cart?" And I was like, "No, do you want it?" And then he was like, No, I don't want it." And then he went right over here and he fucking started to like act strange, looking for something. And this lady was like, "What do you need?" And then he just like carried on his way. And that's just another instance of what I see often, like people just I would really love to know what thought was broadcasted into his mind to make him do that whole little walk around, question me, question the lady, and then just give up and carry on. Because I know his lady friend had a big cart that she was leaning on. It's almost like, it's so fucking weird that I don't really know what to make of it, other than it's just not really a common, there's just something strange about it. I don't fucking know. The thing that is possible is that sometimes I realize I feel like I'm watching a movie with my own eyes. Like I can't control my body or what it's doing, but I know I can talk out loud and describe my actions, but I don't know why I'm doing them. It is possible that this guy has some unknown issue that it just seems normal to him, and he doesn't even realize that he's acting strange. So I got another 6 minutes before I just stop this video. So I'm really glad that I caught at least one thing. But like I said, I was here the other, a few days ago, and it was non-stop. Every second person that walked in was acting strange like that. So it's just like, it was really fucking shocking to me. I'm actually getting really tired. I was up all night fucking doing film and shit, and then I had the energy to come back out in the morning and try and catch some more. Like, I was just kind of excited that I caught some, and like, and I'm really excited that like I caught some more stuff, because I know that if I continue on, I'm gonna catch some really crazy shit, and like, I just think it's gonna add up to the point that it's undeniable that something strange is going on. This guy apparently knew that that cart wasn't mine. He didn't even think to ask me. He just grabbed it. Like, maybe I was sitting here, you know, I was using it, maybe, but no. This guy just walked in and grabbed it. I don't know. I think like the nice thing to do is if you're gonna invade someone's personal space and take something that's right beside them, you could probably just say like, that other guy, like, is that yours? Alright, so there's like 4 minutes left before I just end the video and then walk around and then just go home, and I'll make a new video if there's something that's worthwhile. But I don't know, let me check if there's a outlet in the McDonald's. I just got a weird vibe, like something was strange was gonna happen. And now this guy just stopped in front of me. I really just got the vibe. Like, I was gonna get up to go to McDonald's, and then as this guy walked in, I just got a weird energy. And totally is normal. The guy walked in before his wife, and now he's waiting for her. So like, I know some things are easily explained if you just give it time, which is what I'm working on, because in the past I just jumped to too many conclusions. But that turned out to be just a coincidence. I'm hoping that over the next few weeks I get better at distinguishing I hope in a few weeks I get better at identifying the difference between obvious strange things and common things. It'll make it a lot easier if there's something that I can tell. But 2 minutes. Anything strange gonna happen in the next 2 minutes? Alright, so I'm gonna go check in McDonald's and see if there's a charger where I can charge. And then I'm gonna charge my phone for a bit. Just relax. Alright, there's no chargers in the McDonald's, so I guess I won't be charging my phone here. So I guess like I caught something at Walmart, which I was hoping to do. Not as many as I was hoping, but one thing that was definitely strange enough. So I guess that's where I'll end this video for now.